give it 2 months trial time. 2 months. If you if after 2 months, or if you didn't finish 2 months, just forget about it. You fail. Forget about it. Don't do it. Do anything. Do something else. All right. So we're going to talk about being consistent. All right. So what is being consistent actually means? Can anyone tell me their opinions on it? Because essentially, for me, it means you can produce your craft, or keep your productivity in a constant amount every single day, weeks, month, like KPI, right? You can hit those KPI every single day or whatever, or every single month, year. And it means death. It sounds hard, because it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like it's actually easy. It is actually so hard to be consistent. But you just have to do it. Very much about effort you put in. Yeah, that's true. The more effort you put in, the more consistent you can get. Consistency of work ethics or quality of work. Consistency more on work ethics. Because if you want to achieve a quality of your work, first you have to be consistent on your work first, like your workflow. If you can get consistent on that, essentially you can't really have the consistent amount of quality, in my opinion. So consistency, it's like constant productivity. Let's just put it that way. It's really simple. Constant productivity. And what does constant productivity means actually? Essentially, you just create the constant amount of work every day, or week, or month, right? Doesn't matter. I think you guys get the idea. Everyone here knows what consistent is. So, as an artist, consistent is the key, right? Even though some people don't really have that much consistency when it comes to their work, because most of the time they just do work or draw whenever they want, and they can still exponentially grow. But like we talk about last stream, we are talking in a sense of the rule instead of the exception. So essentially, there is two type of growth: rule and exception. The rule is where everyone is where we are, right? We have to think that we in the rule, not in the exception. The exception means like some people that have some special traits or quote unquote talent, and they just can their growth rate is much faster than everyone else. So we're not the exception. We have to think ourselves in the rule category. We gotta follow the rule. We gotta do things step by steps. We know what it is being. It is another thing. Drive, focus, inspiration, love, tenacity, and fetish. Excuse me. So I did mention talent earlier, right? You know how to draw consistently, draw things that you like. I give a little bit credit on that, but I think it's a lot deep than that, or a lot simple actually, a lot simpler than that. I did mention about talent earlier. I just wanna talk about talent in a sense of my perspective of talent. In my opinion, I'm not discarding the fact that real talents exist, like the real natural talent do exist. I still have to agree on that, even though I hate to agree on that. But for most people, like natural talent, quote unquote, is really rare. Doesn't shows to a lot of people, or in a lot of people. So, in my opinion, talent for most people, 90% of the people in the world, is actually just a polished skill. I'm not discarding the fact that there's the natural talents in minor scale, right? But natural talents does exist, but you can't look at any good artist and that you look up to and just like, that's a natural talent, because essentially what it did to you, it closed your mind and it becomes like feels like you will never have a chance to beat them because you just don't have the talent. I have so many I have way too many friends who think they are an exception. A lot of people that starting off do whatever they're doing, they like to grow on a very quick rate, like exponentially. That's why because a lot of people have this kind of ideas that they think they're in exception because they want to grow exponentially. But the reality is we all just rules. We in that category. If you really wanna, I give you a very, very good example of what exception is and what the rule is. The rule is 90% of the streamers on Twitch, right? Everyone else is struggling to grow. But the exception is the big streamer like XQC, Taiwan. And why they being exception? Because they have the traits. They have their own traits that makes them on that level, or brings them on that level exponentially or very quickly. More about how to interpret and analyze the way we understand a concept. Some people can be natural better at, but I think it can be trained. That's exactly my point. Talent is just a polished skills. A lot of good artists. I give you the best simple example, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of, at least my community, know who Celtisu is. So Celtisu is one of the best, or I would say top 10% artist streamer in art category. Top 10%. Not top 1%, obviously, but top 10%. And essentially, if you look at her work on her Instagram and you just be like, yeah, she's talented, right? But I do a lot of like analysis on successful people, right? So I want to know exactly what her growth rate is. So I scroll down below to the very early stage of her Instagram post, and when I see things that are dated like a year or two ago, and I see at her art, I look at her art and be like, that is fundamental at best. She's exponentially grow from a year or two ago, but last 2 years or something like that, she's not as good as she is now. So that is the good indication that it is not a natural talent. She worked her ass on it, shit. Yeah, if you go like all the way, right? People have to start somewhere. You just don't see it. A lot of new people that knows her and just be like, she's very talented. That's why she has so many views on Twitch. That's why she has so many likes on her posts, so many stuff. And the thing is, people don't see things that are 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. But now she's like OP, right? Hands down, one of the best illustrator I know on Twitch. In terms of like color theory and all that kind of shit. Composition, full-blown illustration. That is the easiest way for you to kill the ideology of a lot of successful people just a talented person. No, talent is just a polished skill, and keep that in mind. Because once you think talent is the deciding factor, you can never see yourself as one of those successful people. When you look at people that are successful and you just say like, hey, they are talented. That's why they're successful. You will never be them in that case, because you close your mind to the point that requires a natural talent for you to success. I think consistency, the way I want to relate this actually, I think if you want to be quote unquote one of those talented people, you need this consistency in yourself. You need to be consistent on your shit. You need to learn how to be consistent, and then you can be on that level where people look at you and be like, this guy is just talented. I think a lot of artists, talent is no longer part of their vocabulary. Yep, exactly. A lot of artists that have work, or at least that have been involved in this industry for at least half a year or so like that, a lot of them just be like, yeah, talent is nothing. You just have to work hard. But a lot of newcomer artists that really want to draw, and then they look at all these people, they just be like, they're so talented. And I'm so sad that they have this ideology, which is, I understand. I used to think that way too. But I think the more people get into the industry, the more they will understand the reality. Bearing a handicap, I don't think anything is beyond achieving for anyone with enough time and effort. Exactly. Do you think environment plays into consistency? I think a lot of artists stream on Twitch to become more consistent. Yes, including me. Back then when I start streaming because I want to be consistent on drawing. Because I used to draw a lot. I used to be a portrait artist, traditionally, before I'm a Twitch streamer, right? But then me and my dad stopped working at a gallery, and then we just start do other stuff. My dad started to be a mechanic. I start to be an engineer, and I just don't have time or don't have a reason to draw anymore. So I, quote unquote, took a break for 2 years or 1 year and a half, I guess. And then I started streaming. Exactly the reason I started streaming is because I want to draw every single day again and try to be consistent. Twitch forces you to draw, exactly. And it's kind of interesting where Twitch leads me now. I'm not even an engineer anymore. Like, I do art for a living. It's really interesting. But that's a topic for another day. Where drawing art is normally by yourself, things the stream platform allows you to actively interact with your work in progress, and definitely beneficial for some point. For some, it is beneficial for you that you have all these viewers, all this community to just pump you up. You know, when you stream and then you see a lot of people coming, see at your work, have a discussion with you, so you essentially be like, yeah, this is fun, and then it is also beneficial for others that come to your stream if you do some, tutorial and shit. When is your dad going to start streaming daily? Probably never. He don't know about internet shit. So consistency. Exactly how to do that. Okay, exactly how to do that. Exactly how to be consistent. Your dad steals your viewers. He will. He probably will. He much more attractive than me, obviously. So let me just be honest on this, like, how to be consistent. Like, let me just be blatant about it, right? There's no shortcuts. There's never shortcuts in how to be consistent. You have to work hard. And after you acknowledge that fact, that there is no shortcut on how to be consistent, then I will tell you. Then you can look into what I'm going to tell you next. Right? If you can accept that, yeah, there is no shortcuts on how to do this. You just have to work hard. Then I will tell you what I did exactly 1.5 years ago when I start to be consistent and be on my level right now and exponentially grow for the past 1.5 years. The strongest methods to actually achieve consistency, the strongest method to do this is make a schedule. I'm gonna be honest to you. I don't really have a schedule until very recently. Like a few months ago, I start to have schedule. And then I start to be more consistent on my stuff. But before I have a schedule, right? in my mind, I have a KPI that I have to hit for me to as a motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. I have the daily goals. Some people might say do it weekly so that you can have some breaks on every now and then. I said no, do it daily. Daily goals. Not weekly, not monthly, not yearly, daily. The more time you give yourself, the more time you will waste. Allows you to build positive drivers to maintain consistency. Yes. Yeah, rather than big goals over a long time, make daily goals. Exactly, make daily. Don't do by 2 days, don't do by 3 days, don't do weekly, nothing. Daily. And listen to me. I do this shit. I did it. Alright? So trust me. I know my shit. Do it daily. Daily goals. So let me tell you a little bit of story what I did. When I was working as an engineer, I don't really have much time. Essentially, because I work 9 to 5, 9 hours, 9 to 6, 9 hours every single day, and for 6 days a week, right? The payment sucks though. So I don't have much time daily. So I keep a note, on a little note on my desk. Like I literally stick it on a place that I can see. I have to hit every single day at least 6 hours of drawing, and I have to time it exactly 6 hours daily. So what I will do is I go to work at 9, and then at 1 we have lunch break. I don't go to lunch. I use that 1 hour breaks to sketch. So I already have 1 hour every day, right? That's my usual schedule. And then I went back home at 6, and yada yada, just preparing, having some dinner, clean myself up. Let's say it's 8 o'clock now. So I will draw nonstop from 8 o'clock all the way to the midnight for 5 hours straight, nonstop. I will just draw anything. If I don't know what to draw, I just look up for any gesture drawing. I just do it, right? Every single day until I quit my job. Just because I have to. That's the story for another day. Or if you really want to know the story, I already told that story quite a lot in my YouTube videos. Just listen to them. Until I quit my job. And the moment I quit my job, I almost doubled my training, my regimental training, right? Almost double. From 6 hours, I go to 8 to 10 hours daily. That sounds like burnout to me. Yeah, take it as a face value, because like I said, not everyone have the same amount of progress rate. If you think you can deal 6 hours daily, do it 3 hours. 3 hours sounds reasonable. 3 hours daily. But you still do it daily. You know what I mean? The thing is, I really want to grind. I really want to be better. And when I'm really set my mind to it, I'm really competitive. So after I quit my job, I start drawing for almost 12 hours daily. Almost. Could afford to grind though? What do you mean by that? Which I had the time to grind? Alright, I literally just say to you, even when I was working, I push myself, right? You have 24 hours daily. You work at most 12 hours daily. At most, right? So you still have 12 hours daily. It doesn't hurt you to draw 3 hours every single day. Don't tell me it hurts you that way. Don't tell me that. There are other responsibilities at home. Same. I live my life too. I have responsibilities too. I literally take care of my parents. I take care of my nephews now. I do the cook sometimes. We all have our own responsibilities, yes. But don't tell me you don't have 3 hours daily to grind. You don't have to do 6 hours. I know I have the abilities to do 6 hours. But 3 hours daily. Anyone can do that. It sounds like an like excuse. It sounds like excuse, yeah. But I know what you mean. A lot of people have responsibilities, right? And I acknowledge that. That's why I'm saying you have to think it that way. Yeah, this way. You have to actually think about how many hours you can spend every single day, and then try to keep at that. It doesn't have to be as long as me. I know I'm crazy, and I know that architecture makes me who I am right now. I literally work a lot more than I should, but it's just what I learned in school. So after that, where was I? Oh yeah, I start drawing 8 to 12 hours daily, right? So I did that for 3 months. No, 5 months. This is one of the steps that you have to pay attention on. Do it enough time that it becomes your habit. Right now, I don't really remotely think that, okay, I need to draw 12 hours daily. No, I don't really think that way now. But it feels weird to me to not sit on my desk and draw, because essentially it becomes my habit now. I have do it for so much time that if I didn't do it for one day, it feels awkward. I don't feel complete. I don't feel productive. That's why I always complain about me not being productive. Essentially, I still do a lot of shit. When I tell people like, yeah, I do video rendering today, and then I draw this and this, but I don't feel productive, and people just be like, are you crazy? That's a lot of work. You should standing desk for that. So give it 2 months trial time. 2 months. If after 2 months, or if you didn't finish 2 months, just forget about it. You fail. Forget about it. Don't do it. Do anything. Do something else. Give it 2 months. Draw outside or anywhere else. Yeah. You don't actually have to stay in your room, right? Just take your sketchbook, go out, explore. Might also be a matter of how bad you want it. Yeah. If you really want to improve, this is what you have to do. 2 months. I say give it 2 months. Do it for 2 months. And if you can survive for 2 months, essentially after that you will feel like it's just a habit. At that point, it becomes a habit. You will stop thinking about, oh, it's so annoying, I have to draw this every single day. You will stop thinking about that. You will essentially naturally get on your desk every single day and just be like, yeah, I need to draw today. Because if you don't, it feels weird. It's easier for some people to sacrifice sleep to use up every single bit of free time on art. Take this with a grain of salt, but dictating a time limit may be very chore-like. It could be that, but like I said before, if you really want to be consistent, there's no shortcut. That's what you gotta deal with. If your goal is to be consistent, you have to do it as a chore for months and months before it becomes a habit. Because if you don't develop this kind of habits, this kind of quote-unquote chores, you will not get there. If there is not enough push and motivation, this could turn a lot of new artists away from developing. The way I see it, it's a pain process. If you think about getting exponentially better in a short amount of time, you gotta deal with it. But if you don't mind sitting forever where you are and slowly improving, still improving, but enjoying your sweet time, sure, it works too. It doesn't matter. Just don't complain why you don't grow exponentially as other people. if you really wanna set yourself and be like, by the next year, I wanna be draw like this, some these people, some these artists. By next year, you have a time limit. Next year, 1 year, very short amount of time for someone to improve, right? So you gotta pay attention and work it as a chore. I know, in art category or in our industry, because it is creative based, right? Essentially, you want to do it with passion. You don't want to think it as a chores because you don't want to be to lose the lost the enjoyment of what you're doing. I get that, but I was talking at a point of people that really want to grow fast. Like let's put a quote mark there. People that really want to grow fast. It doesn't matter how much time it takes to grow, and you do it like the way that you enjoy. It's fine too, right? In the end, I think that those who are successful are those who push themselves to put in extra grind. But I think raising awareness of how much grind one should actually do is also very important. Yes. That's why I say, like, set your own KPI, set your own goals. It doesn't matter how much I work. It doesn't matter to you because we've talked about this last stream. The rate of success of someone, of people is different. My rate of progress is different from the rate of progress you, because just how different we work. I might work 6 hours a day and you might work 3 hours a day. But in the sense of information gathering, brain works differently, right? I can work 12 hours a day, but you just work like 3 hours a day, but we grow in the same amount of time. Because we addressed this back then. I draw every single day, but I'm not as good as some artists that don't even draw every single day. They just do because they enjoy it. Because the science behind your brains, how your brains work, is different per every person. I was basically talk in a sense of my experience. I did mention it earlier. This is my experience, my kind of work, my kind of grind. And if you want to be like me, if you look up to me and see that exponential growth and you want to achieve that, do what I did. But I don't say like everyone should be doing this, because again, I cannot mention enough, people's progress is different. Awareness how much time pros and others are putting in, I step it up. I would love to say a quote that Seijin said back then, but when I was like asking things from him. I'm not really like learning from him, but every now and then I jump into his stream and ask things, right? So he said, the faster you work, the faster you fail. But it is also a faster way to be success. The more you fail, the more you learn, the less time you take to be successful. So if you really, really want the exponential growth, if you really want to be successful of what you're doing, all right? If you really want to be that guy in the industry, that monsters that everyone afraid of, that everyone pays thousands of dollars every single day just for them to draw a fucking line, right? If you want to be that person, you gotta work hard. There's no shortcuts. You're not the exception. You are the rule. You're in the rule category. You're not in the exception category. And take that as a face value. I'm sitting here, tell you guys about all these informations based on my experience. I can literally show you, we did this last stream. Let me do it again, just for the context. Okay? This is my drawing 1 year ago. This is my drawing few days ago. You see that size of jump? And how can I achieve this? Is because I do whatever I just told you guys about. Alright? If you want this amount of exponential growth, the exact amount that I have right now, you gotta do what I do. But if you don't mind just enjoying your time, and you're pretty confident in where you are right now, and you just wanna whip on your style, you just wanna be better at your own pace, it's fine too. It doesn't matter. I'm not sitting here and telling every single one of you have to do what I'm doing. No. But if you want the level of improvement that I have, you gotta do what I do. And that is essentially it. Right? And also I just want to rephrase it. The most important things to see about the word talent. Please don't look at artists that you know and or the artists that you look up for and be like they're just a natural they just natural talent. They just have a natural talent, right? Because essentially, if you think so, if you have this ideology in your head, if you have these mindsets, you literally close your mentality towards different perspective, and you will fail to see yourself achieving that kind of success. I just thought about this like a couple of days ago. I keep saying like all these people who are so successful, I keep saying like, yeah, they just because they have talent, just because they have personalities, just because they have special traits. No, it's really hard work behind that. And when I reflect back to what I did, a lot of people, and my close friend that I draw with for years and years from my high school days, comes to me to this art. He DM me and just be like, bro, you are so talented. And I was like, I'm so mind blown by what he said, because I was like, bro, me and you literally start drawing at the very same age. Like, we grow together. You know how suck I am back then. And you know it's not talent, it's hard work. So, because I saw that it made me realize that, yeah, I shouldn't have this ideology. Talent is just a polished skill. The part of being consistent is also keep confident that you will get better, because everyone starts out a noob and improve. Often it takes months to years, but there is no doubt that putting in the work will always bear fruits. A lot of people give up because they feel like they will never make it after a few months or something. Yes. Most of the time, when we look in that direction, most of the time people fail to do so after a few months or so. Is because, one, they fail to see that the rate of progress of every single person is different, and two, is they always think all people up there is just pure talent. It is talent that you can put so much time and hard work into art. If you have enough determinations to do that, you essentially just need determinations to do that, and motivations, I guess. You gotta be competitive in a sense. I hate to say this because essentially I'm not competitive enough. Whenever I play games or something like that, I don't like playing competitive because I feel like I just want to have fun. Essentially, the same thing that I think we just talked about. Like, a few of you guys think doing art is like a lot more fun if you just do it because you enjoy it, not try to change it as a chores. But that's a very I'm sorry for calling it out, but I think that's a very mediocre thinking. But if you really want to be competitive in this field, I have to stress hard work is very important in this manner. But also, I also want to rephrase it. It's not a bad thing to have those kind of mindsets, because essentially art, the way I see art back then, is more of a passion rather than hard work. So I understand why a lot of people have that kind of mentality. It's basically the same as me too back then. I used to think that way. I used to be like, yeah, I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want it to be a chore. I don't want it to be burning me out over time. But the more I look at the top 1% artists in this industry, I want to be them. We talk about I want to call you out, Gallo, on this. We talk about this last stream. Please don't compare yourself like that. If you look at other people, see them as the same level as you. It works well for both reasons. Like, it works well for your self-confidence, one, and also it works well for your down-to-earth kind of person. Because when you look at top artists and you see them as the same level of you, and you want to beat them at any point, you just don't want to sit there and adore their art. You want to be competitive because you think they're just like exactly the same level as you. And also, if you look at the new artists and you not seeing yourself as better than them, you can realize that there is a lot of hard work to get where you are, and you can respect these people to coming up to you and sharing their stuff, right? It worked both way for your self-confidence and to make sure that you exactly down to earth kind of person. I'm so sorry, it's raining right now. I hope it doesn't pick up in my new fancy cheap microphone. You have different mindset. Yeah. Let me just be honest. I used to think like you. I used to be those kind of guy. Just be like, I can never be better as Saltisu, for example. I can never be better as Sarwe, because these people are top 10% artists that I know, right? On Twitch. I can be as better as Gears Art. And I keep adoring their works, but I never work towards it. And then I realized I need to change my mindset. That's essentially it. If we pedal back a little bit, being consistent, what it takes to be consistent. Hard work. Work as hard as you can. And if you want to be successful, there's no shortcuts. And think yourself as in the rule group, not the exception group. And accept that different people have a different rate of progress. And that's about it. Alright, I think that's all for the talk today. So thank you so much for watching or listening. We will do this on every stream now. So if you really want to join us with discussion, check our stream on twitch.tv/checkedin. All the link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like if you like, and just hit the dislike if you don't like it, and comments down below what kind of topics you want us to discuss. And with that said, I'll see you guys on the next video.